Prejudice is judging someone based on the way that you see them.
It's kind of assuming that you know everything about somebody
before you actually know their character or personality.
It bleeds through in your reactions.
Prejudice comes in many different forms.
It's something more prevalent than others when people are led to believe.
It's a system of advantage based on fill in the blank.
People's way of objecting or discriminating against or leaving people out because of their certain views.
Biased opinions about somebody that aren't always true.
Prejudging a person or a group based on preconceived notions that may or may not be true.
Not looking at their personality, but rather just their race or their sexuality.
Okay, intolerance of other people and the way they live or the way they decide to live.
It's expecting everybody to see people and life the way I do.
Judging people from what you hear or what you just think they look like.
It's about someone making thoughts about you before they know you.
Anytime you're kind of generalizing based on a few small details you know about a person, I would consider that prejudice.
The Harold M. Marsh Senior Connections Institute is a peer leadership experience for high school students featuring a 5-day residential program that allows students to break barriers, deal with biased behavior, and develop an action plan to reduce prejudice in their schools.
Connections was a very life-changing experience for me because I realized a lot of things about myself and the people around me.
We talked about race and sexual orientation and just what prejudice itself means, and it was just so much more than I expected. Prejudice, I'm thinking black and white, and oh well, we'll talk about that a whole lot, but it didn't just zone in on that.
We basically got together with people in our age group and basically connected with them, made friendships and good relationships.
I learned how to appreciate people despite outward appearances. I learned how to respect everybody, including myself, and in general how to see the world through different eyes.
I'm definitely a lot more conscious of what I say. I don't joke around about things that I think could be hurtful for people anymore.
When I'm having trouble connecting with somebody or they're having trouble connecting with me, is try to find whatever we have in common and then just stick to that, because everybody has something in common with other, we all have things in common. They're just so often not looked for, or people don't want to find them.
Coming out of Connections, you pay attention to the little things that you didn't notice before, the phrases that you may say on a day-to-day basis, the things that your friends do that you just ignored before it took to be something normal that everyone does. And those little things that you pay attention to really spread out and really touch other people too.
The Allies Institute is a peer leadership experience for college and university students featuring workshops, small group discussions, and exercises to get participants to think deeply about prejudice and discrimination. Its purpose is to foster a climate of inclusion through heightened awareness and dialogue.
When I describe the Allies Institute to people, I tell them that it is the diversity program that really has had the most impact in my experience. I've done a lot of discussions about diversity and programming about diversity. It's the only one that goes beyond the actual talk into inspiring change on a personal level, on an institutional level.
It's amazing, first of all. Going to Allies was just amazing. I didn't expect to kind of form the bonds that I did, or I guess open the barriers that were opened during the time that I was there.
I think it provides a safe, open environment that a lot of people here may not be experiencing, either because they identify as someone who needs to cover up part of their identity to kind of mainstream themselves, or just if it's a topic that they've always been interested in and have been afraid to bring it up for fear of stepping on toes, something like that. I think it's really important to have this safe space to just kind of hash out these difficult details.
So if we invest in our kids, if we invest in the future, to take some of that money and put it into our society, then why wouldn't you do this? This needs to be an ongoing dialogue. This needs to be an ongoing thing that is as natural as us testing the kids for SATs or having them prepared for life. This prepares them for life more than anything.
It's not just a great experience for learning new things, but it's just making new friends. It's a fun time.
We saw a community that was energized, that had a purpose, that really understood life differently and approached life differently, and people.
It's not an experience that someone can really describe and then have someone say, oh, that's cool, you have to do it.
Overall, it was something that I'll always remember and take with me, and I continue to grow from even to this day.
What I would say to someone considering supporting a program sponsored by the Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities is that you have the opportunity not only to change the small setting where one of these programs occur, but to change communities. We know that the injustices exist, and if we could just change one person's way of viewing these issues, then we have the opportunity to change the world.